So, hello everybody, and welcome to this 20th monthly organizational meeting of the African Humanist Forum. As stated in the invitation to this particular meeting, we are now moving into collaboration with the World March 3 that will start in October in Costa Rica and come later on to Africa, as all the core team will travel to Africa to come to Africa in November. But on the other hand, we start immediately now to prepare all the different activities, peace activities, marches and banners, and you know, riding on cardboards. We don't want these wars, and something that comes from the heart of the people. But to put this all in context, Antonio, I would you be willing to
Yeah,
tell us
yeah,
more about this,
with
please?
pleasure,
Yeah.
because um, yes, you have been patiently waiting for 10 minutes, but then I will try to convey in a short period of time what's the main idea. This is a global activity that the humanists have been doing since the year 2008. In fact, the first World March went around the world, and after that, it went back to South America, to the mountains, where the humanist movement was founded. And Silo was present there. It was just 1 year before he died. And so he was in the reception of the march after the march has been all over the place. You can see, because we have copied the book, the organizers of the march have produced a book with photographs of the activities in different countries of the world. I am told, because I didn't count the pages, that there are about 40 pages that cover the activities of the march in African countries. So it's very interesting now that we are doing the third World March that will come to Africa in the month of October, and for about 3 weeks. So it will visit several countries with the people who have organized activities there. But it will create a large momentum, because in the present world, that there is so much violence, and the situation is becoming so dangerous, because it seems that we are facing a rebalancing of the power in the world. It's an old world of imperialistic powers that is dying, and it's a new world of the young nations that is coming up. And those younger nations, although they have a long history, like China or like Russia or South Africa, all the countries that form part of the BRICS, they are pushing for a multipolar world where every country, even if it's a little island in the Pacific, will be treated with the same respect and will be listened to with the same care, because it's understood that all nations of the world, they have their own priorities, their own interests, and they are populated by human beings who are all the same. So no matter how powerful some can be, the obligation of the powerful countries is to look after the ones that have less resources and help them in their own development. So one day they can also live to the maximum potential. They have to educate the population. They have to have all the technological resources and elements that the world is enjoying these days, like these communications that we are enjoying right now. I mean, 1 or 2 years back, it was unimaginable that we would be able to organize meetings in so many different countries, see each other's faces, and talk about whatever. And then after that, you go to your normal activities, and everybody does the same. But we can meet again and again and again. So the possibilities that the new technology, artificial intelligence, and all the new technical manifestations has made the world a small place. And there is no justification anymore for the largest countries to rob and to exploit and to subordinate the smaller countries just because they came first, or just because they have more money, or just because they have more weapons and strength and imposing the conditions. So the world is changing because of that, because there is a group of countries that happen to be the majority of the countries of the world with the largest population. If you put the population of all these countries, India, China, Russia, South Africa, and so many others, Saudi Arabia and Turkey, and all the countries that form the BRICS, is like 80% of the population of the world. And the Western powers, the former colonialist powers, are 10 or 12% in terms of population. But who creates the wealth in the world is the people. We create the richness of the societies. And therefore, the balance of power, because everybody will have access sooner or later to the same resources, same technology, same understanding, that they don't want anymore to be dictated what to do and how to do it, and having to wait for years and years before being able to educate your children or finding a permanent job, because it's a thing of the past. And it's the world order that these two or three countries, the European countries and the United States, have imposed since the Second World War, that is 80 years back, the end of the World War. And so they took over all the former British Empire and German Empire, and they took control of everything, and they imposed the US dollar upon everyone, and they developed the best weapons, and they tried them against the Japanese, and then the atomic bomb. And of course, after that, they have ruled like masters. But that situation has changed. And because people are very discontent, and many others who have similar resources, people have lots of information, and they don't want to take it anymore. And then they are saying to the Americans, well, this is not going on anymore. And it's changing. Last example here in Africa is the Sahel countries, that they asked the French, go back home. We don't want to be colonized by yourselves. The French who came and imposed the French franc, and that we are stealing all the minerals and the important raw materials, and out. They had to remove the troops. So now the countries are really, in Africa, are becoming very aware of this change of circumstances, and they are teaming together, and they want to really make the resolutions together. They don't want to fight each other. They want to put as a priority their own development, and it's normal and it's natural. And we humanists, we support that, because we have been pushing for these type of things since the foundation of the humanist movement more than 50 years ago in Latin America, amongst poorer countries. And so we know what is what, because we have a similar colonial experience and past. And now we are spreading this sort of thinking all over the world. And with that purpose, we are organizing then forums in all the countries of the world, in all the continents, where people can sit, common people, and discuss about the most current problems that we are facing together today in different places. Poverty, health, education, violence, excessive, that is unnecessary, and all the things that we require to push our societies to another level, and to enter in an era of humanity, of real humane solidarity and support for one another. Because it's impossible to imagine the future where the population, we are 8 billion in the world today, but in a few more years, 10, 15 years, we are going to be double, 16 billion people. And you can imagine that 16 billion people will be able to continue killing one another. That will be a debacle. That will be a disaster. So we have to eliminate violence. We have to reject violence. Cannot be accepted as a way of solving the problems that humanity faces at one point or another. The only possibility is to work together with solidarity, with support, with helping each other. The ones who are more advanced should help the others. And the more advanced will have better technology, and also they can sell it, and so on. Everybody can benefit. But then the process of evolution, of development of the whole, will be much faster and better. And we'll enter to a new era. And that is what believe is possible. In that context, we are giving lots of emphasis because there is so much violence in the world, in Gaza and in Ukraine, that war where now they are all ganging together, the Western countries, and threatening Russia. And Russia cannot be threatened by anyone because they have the most powerful atomic weapons everywhere. So if they push them into a corner, what we are going to face is an atomic conflict. And that is intolerable because it will kill millions of people, will contaminate the planet, etc., etc. So it's not possible. And the Western countries know that it's not possible, but they are pushing and creating an enormous level of tensions everywhere. And we want to diffuse that. We want, with the World March, to make people adhere, invite people to join the initiative of rejecting all types of violence and rejecting nuclear weapons and inspire disarmament everywhere in the world. And so that's why we think it's important, because the situation has become so serious and chaotic that we give lots of energy and lots of attention to this World March. And after the World March, we have another big initiative that is a forum, the Universalist Humanist Forum, that we are going to develop in all the continents. And after that, it will be a permanent entity that will have opinions and will keep insisting on peace of non-violence about any sort of conflictive situation in the world. And that will be permanent. We want to make it that in time will be something like United Nations, talking about what is ethical, what is moral, what is acceptable, and with the support of people at the social base. So therefore, will not be bureaucrats, will not be countries with ambassadors and all these type of things. Will be an organization of the people everywhere. So that is very powerful. And in the present world, because of the type of communications that we have, the possibilities are real. And so we could see changes that are very important. I may not see them because I am older, but you will see them for sure. And we will work for those type of things to happen. So these are the two projects that we are moving at the moment. First of all is the forum, sorry, the march, because the march will arrive in Africa in October. And what we are inviting people to develop activities that are very visual and that are very prominent and where everybody can participate, like small marches in the main cities, that we can invite the schools to get involved. We have a statement, a declaration that we call it the ethical declaration, where people promises in schools and the parents of the children, etc., that they promise that they will never use the knowledge that they are acquiring in those institutes of education against other human beings. It's quite nice, because if you are 10 years old and suddenly most of the people in your school, they meet together and they make a declaration of that type, you will never in your life forget that nonviolence is an important thing. And you have been participating in that, and you have made that statement yourself. So it's powerful. It's powerful because we start to disseminate a culture of nonviolence, of non-aggression, of respect for one another, that really is the natural condition of the human being, not violence. Violence is instigated intentionally, but the powers that want to dismember societies in order to take advantage of the people and to take the resources. That is the vision. And therefore, these activities that we will have with the march are well documented. You will see plenty of examples in this book with photographs of the First World March, that you will take ideas out of that. And during the period that the march will come and will be in African countries, I think they will come through the north. I think they will come into Africa from Morocco and Tunisia. And from there, they will go descending up to Mauritania. And then in Senegal, they are going to meet with another contingent of people that will be coming from the south, we hope. Still, we have 4 or 5 more months to organize that. And then those teams from North and South, but now representing most of Africa, We'll have 1 or 2 days there. We'll try to see authorities of the government. They will try to see educational people. They will have different events that will be very visual. And all these things we will cover with the magazine Presenza, that has lots of partners in different parts of the world and in Africa. Lots of articles, lots of photographs, lots of visual things, videos, etc., that will report and will publish. So we'll have an impact. Suddenly, people who have never heard about universalist humanism, they will realize that there is a lot of interesting people, young, dynamic people, that are actively pushing for the establishment of nonviolence and peace in the world. So it's a good thing. That is more or less the project. But we have lots of details about that. And the organization of events in their own cities, in their own villages, in the capital cities of the countries is something that obviously, because you are there in the ground, you will have to have a say, because I think that we are inviting you to do. But in many ways, we'll support with the know-how, with examples from other countries that are doing this or that or the other thing. And so by working as a team, we can have an impact over Africa and over all the governments in Africa, that suddenly they will become aware that new ways of thinking, new human expressions are taking place. You have seen that if you follow the media, that now the university campuses in many big important cities in the United States have been taken by the students to protest for the violence in Gaza. In Gaza, the Israeli army, supported by the Americans, have killed, 30 or 40,000 people, lots of women and children. And they have bombed and razed to the ground all the biggest cities, Gaza, and now they are in another city that is called Fire, I think, or something like that. And they have done this in complete impunity. They come with tanks and they just shoot and kill. They have destroyed the hospitals. They have destroyed the universities, all the centers of studies, everything. They want to eliminate or erase the culture of the Palestinian people, and that is impossible. But it's extremely cruel. And because there is an organization called Hamas that is an active organization, military organization, that also kidnapped a group of colonialists from that are occupying Palestinian land. This was 6 months ago, and they kidnapped and assassinated a big number of them, and they kidnapped like 250 Israelis. That still they have some with them. Others have been released. So that was the origin of the tensions, the origin. But in reality, they have been in conflict for years and years, as you all know. I mean, Israel and Hamas and Palestinian. They denied Palestine people the right to live there. The Palestinian nation have lived in that part of the world for thousands of years, as long or more longer than the Jews. But the Jews, they have the support of the Americans and of the Europeans, and therefore they have prevailed, because they have even atomic weapons and they have a level of development and all the military support, and therefore it's very difficult for the Palestinians that are poor and they don't have resources to really impose the conditions. But all the countries of the world in the United Nations recognize the existence of Palestine, and even they had resolutions like 15 or 20 years back accepting the right of the Palestinian nation to develop like a free and independent country in those territories that now Israel has taken possession, military possession of. And that obviously has created a massive conflict. That is what we are living these days. So there you see two mentalities, two ways of acting, two mechanisms of imposition of power in the world that are in confrontation. And it's a confrontation of such magnitude because of the alignment of the countries that obviously things have to change. You cannot expect that a bunch of European countries and the Americans that have been mastering everything and being the new empire of the world for 80 years, that they are going to impose the conditions to China and Russia and India and South Africa and countries that together are 50 or 60% of the population, that have the most powerful atomic weapons, that they have the stations in space continuously and permanently all over. Now they are too big, those countries, like to continue keeping them on the knees. And that's why the Americans and the Europeans are quite desperate, because they see that the possibilities for them to like sucking all the resources everywhere is finished. And the imposition of the US dollar as the currency of reserve all over the planet. So there are lots of positive things, but the moment is difficult. And we have to strengthen our message, and we have to strengthen our values and our belief that all human beings are equal, that violence is totally unacceptable in society, and everybody needs to have the fundamental human rights recognized now, not in 10 years' time, or not blah, 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 real. And so it's a tectonic change, as if the big plates under the ground were moving, like when the continents move in one direction or another. So we'll live months or perhaps years of tension, but after, the world will be a better place. And we have to all act together, because we are all up to benefit out of it. Because we have children. I have four. The youngest is 25, so they are not that young, and the older is 35. But they are starting to have children. So really, is a big group that start to develop. I don't want the world to be a destructive place in the future. I don't want them, because they live in England, to be hated by the rest of the world, because they have the things that others don't. And so inequality is intolerable. We want people to be the same and to have similar possibilities. And African people, in order to get a decent job, they expose themselves trying to cross the Mediterranean in the most exploitative manners, because they are mafias that offer them to take them to Europe and take money for that. And in the end, they abandon them somewhere or other, or the boats are not safe. Lots of people drown in the Mediterranean. And the countries of Europe try to keep them out. So it's enormously cruel, the situation. And why would people want to go to Europe? What is so special in Europe that doesn't exist in Africa? They are richer, and people expect to get a job and to improve the quality of life and to support their families back home. That's the only reason why people go there. And so that should not happen. That is unacceptable. And that has to end. That's the way that we think. And will end only if we all push in the same direction and we work together. That's why we are so motivated with what is happening in the world. And we think that it's a big possibility of change, of global change, because big countries are committed to that change. And so we are not alone. So those are the plans that we want to invite you, and that we will develop together in the months and years to come.
Very nice, Antonio. It was very nice. And I see that Ragnar wants to say something, and I want to introduce Ragnar a little bit. It's very, very interesting to have Ragnar with us, because he has experienced the World March both in Iceland and in Africa from the first March, and he is a very good organizer, and he has been, a man of action. How do we do this, and how do we organize it, and what we do. So please, Ragnar, I'm listening to you very interestingly.
Okay. Yes, we had the first World March in 2009, and it was a whole year, and we had lots and lots of activities all over the world. But Julius, you were going to share the photos of the African. Remember the pictures from Africa, Julius?
Yeah, Could you put the link there in the chat?
Yeah.
Yeah, because then I can pick it up there.
Yeah. Okay, it's here. But let me put it here. And everybody can take a look at it, of course. But there is so many things that is possible to do. Like we had a multicultural parade in Iceland, where people from all countries, other countries that live in Iceland had a parade. We had a peace sign where people are putting themselves with torch and light and make a peace sign. And we then was, for example, some kids went on a boat, a ship, and were throwing bottles with a peace message.
You are muted now, Ragnar. You are muted. Yeah.
Oh, what happened? And it's so many things. And like Anthony was saying, this girl, what's her name again? Who started to strike on Fridays because of the.
Yes.
What's her name again? It's lost. But doesn't matter.
From Sweden.
Yeah.
Yeah. Greta Thunberg.
Greta Thunberg.
A 15-year-old girl, no?
Yeah. If there is so many things that is possible to do. If even a small group or a big group can do so many things. And Julius will, after some minutes, he will share. Did you see the link, Julius?
Yes, I'm ready to share it with the group, everybody. But it will be like like scrolling. We cannot. Just to give an idea of what type of book and how interesting it is, that we for people to dive into this. And even in this book, you will have a lot of photos from Africa, from Zambia, from Mozambique, from.
Can you share it, Julie?
I can share it. Yeah, okay.
Oh.
But you sent it on the list already or not?
Yes, we sent it. Yeah, we sent it previously to the. We have distributed widely, so it is like just to touch on seeing, more or less what it is. So I can surely share it. Okay.
You can see that, and I will have to attend another meeting that I have at 7 in 10 minutes. But I wanted to tell you about a forum of discussion that we will have on the 7th of July, and you are invited to that. It will be remote by Zoom.
Is it tomorrow?
No, on the 7th of July.
July.
Yeah. So we have like a month from now. And you will enjoy that very much because it's a discussion about colonialism, with whether colonialism is a thing of the past or is still taking other pervasive forms and is very strong still all over the place. And people need to know that and to have their own ideas about that. And the presenters are Malik and Take, that is half African and from the Dominican Republic in the Caribbean, and also Flobela Malaquias from Angola, and she is a member of parliament because she formed a political party, the Humanist Party, and she won she became a member of parliament of the Chamber of Deputies, and I think there is another person elected there. So it's a very strong and capable
Julius,
woman that
can you
is
go to the
important that
African part?
you meet her.
Sorry, Julius, can you share the African pictures? Meanwhile, he's
Yeah.
It is,
But I will stop here because
No,
we will
no.
send also the invitation to that event for the 7th. And we would like many of you who can make it, but come there, participate, ask questions, or listen to the presenters. And after that, we will anyway have the recordings available, and you will be able to listen to all the explanations again. That's enough for me.
Yeah, very good. There is Africa. Wait, stop there, and then scroll the photos.
yes. So you see it now?
This is from. Scroll it to the other way.
Yeah, okay, yes.
Okay, this is from 2009. It was so many more. Scroll more, Julius.
Yes, please.
Okay, Morocco. They had they had a lot of activities there in Morocco. No, okay, more.
Yeah.
Morocco, Canarians.
Canary Islands. Mauritania.
Mauritania, yeah. And
Yeah, that's still Mauritania.
no. Senegal. Ivory Coast.
Ivory Coast.
Mali.
There you have the founder of the World March, second from the left, Rafael de la Rubia, and he is very much involved still today, in the third march. Mali.
Mali.
Yeah.
Togo.
Kenya.
Kenya. Benin.
Benin, yes, okay.
Burkina Faso. Ghana.
Sierra Leone, Amaro. Your country is there. Nigeria.
Kenya.
Kenya is
Kenya.
now. Kenya, here we come. Zambia. You see there to the right, you see Miniver, and you see the World March banner they have there. They were working very much in collaboration with Mozambique, and the people from Mozambique traveled to Zambia to collaborate with the activities in Zambia. So this can happen that there, people will travel cross, teams will travel cross borders in the spirit of the World March. Mozambique. Also, they were visiting, the representatives were visiting, administrative people like councillors and ministers, according to their connections. South Africa,
Ethiopia,
Uganda,
Uganda,
Abel,
Abel,
Congo,
Congo,
Angola,
Angola.
that where the Humanist Party has 2 members of parliament, as Antonio was telling us, Flora Bell.
Okay, this is
Yeah.
giving all kind of image and shows what we were doing. Can you stop sharing, Julius?
Yeah.
Okay, this is an example of what we can do in many countries. And now, okay, we don't want to have the meeting much more than 1 hour, so we will
Yes.
we'll just go to some technical things now. Okay, we are suggesting that we have a meeting about the World March every second week. On Thursday, 8 o'clock, and this same hour, every second week. We will, of course, continue with internal meeting Fridays, but every second week we will have a meeting with those who want to take part in the World March. And what we want to know now is who of you want to take part? And then you can think about some activity, and then you will, okay, those who want to take part, I will add them to the group, Third World March. So can you tell me who of you want to take part in the World March? Then we will always every second week meeting see how many more are coming to take part. We will develop what kind of projects we are focusing on. It can be, and we will maybe print T-shirts and maybe banners, and there can be all kind of activity, from small kids coming together, talk about peace, up to if you go and you meet the president, you meet the people high up and tell them about the World March. And one more thing, okay, Kjartan, who many of you know, he was supposed to be on this meeting. Julius, did you?
Yeah, good. No, I don't know.
Okay. At least he will be in, Kjartan will be in, I will share it. Kjartan will be in, I will share it in the I will share it myself. Can I share myself?
What I was thinking, maybe all of those who are present in this meeting, they can put their names and the phone numbers in the chat here.
Yeah, okay. Or they can even express themselves. Okay, see Kjartan. Okay, hi all, I will be in Nairobi 15 and 16 of June, and would like to see if we could plan a meeting with those in Kenya that are interested and have a possibility to attend, to plan for the World March in Kenya. Interested participants, please let me know which would be better. 15, 16, I will also be in MAVS in June 19, 22nd, where we could have a meeting about World March in Tanzania, probably on the 22nd. So who of you are in Nairobi, the 15 and 16 of June? Will anybody? Okay, some of you are in Nairobi, isn't it? Would you like to meet Kjartan?
I'm available on that day.
Okay, who was this?
I'll be there in 16 and to 19.
Yeah, we will. We can organize a meeting. He can meet you, and you can. Yeah.
How about people from Kisumu?
You can come to, if you want to meet Kjartan, you can come to Nairobi, meet him 15, 16. But like people in Kisumu, you can of course do some activity there. Anything, you know, a peace walk, a peace sign. Peace sign is very nice. If you gather together people and you make a peace sign with we can show you a picture of that. You can actually come up with any idea, and you know the World March will come to Africa in November. So we will start. You know, there will be a team of people going through Africa, and where there are some activities, they will maybe come and pass by and take part with you. You know. So if you organize some activity about peace, then they can maybe pass through and stop that. But that's why we are having now every second week a meeting, slowly by slowly, talking about ideas, talking about what is possible to do, trying to get as many as we can to attend to the things, slowly by slowly.
Okay.
So who of you want to take part in the World March, and who of you think you can have some activity? You know, like a concert, Tracy. That is one thing. Like a football game.
Yes, that one you don't have to worry about it. I can organize the concert, I can organize sports. That is something that when I'm going around, I've been telling people of the humanist group, so they already know what's on the ground. So,
Very good.
yeah, like in Kajiado, they're prepared. So it's with me, things are fixed. So don't worry. You just bring your team.
Okay. Yeah, and
Yeah.
maybe you can kind of cooperate. It would be very nice if you could meet Kjartan in. I will let you all know where he will be, when, and where you can meet him and all that. Those who can possible. I'm very interested in organizing the events for humanists here in Sierra Leone. Very good. Then we will. Okay, put all of you who are interested, put your name and phone number in the main Humanist Forum group. Then I will make sure that I will add you into the Third World March group.
Okay.
Julie,
Okay.
you are muted, Julius.
No, this is a fantastic idea to utilize our African Humanist Forum platform, WhatsApp platform, and that can be the, like, you know, where we gather all the different elements, you know, and those who want to take active part. So,
but it's better you put it in the because the chat will disappear when the meeting finishes. It's better you put it in the you put it in the group humanist, in the WhatsApp group Humanist Forum, the main group, African Humanist Forum.
yeah, we can, Ragnar, we can coordinate and we can put some information there between us. We can decide to give some guidelines.
Yeah.
So
actually, I have to leave.
Yeah, this is really very nice. I think this has been very inspiring gathering, and I will now proceed to end the meeting, and greeting you with peace, force, and joy, all of you.
Peace, force, and joy.
Enjoy.
Same
And,
to me.
Yeah, some will
Yeah.
come tomorrow, Friday meeting, and then we all meet about the March, the World March 3 after 2 weeks.
Yes, okay. So I will take the
Okay.
step. Yeah, I will take the step of ending the meeting, and I will. Okay? And I will stop the recording. Thank you, all of you.
All right.
Welcome.
Okay, bye 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 bye.
Welcome.
Yeah, bye.
Hi, all of you.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
We talk.
Yeah.